Another week of tape to burn. The final lesson we must learn. We are the Crossroads Connection. Your undisputed sports perfection. It's where the game is won. The Crossroads Sports Connection. Yeah, connection. Starring Todd Brooks, Lincoln Hudgens, Chris Bailey, Stan Parker, Drew DiBiase, and Steve Edwards.
Now. All right, welcome to another edition of Crossroads Sports Connection. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. First of all, college football is finally getting underway. We've got some Atlanta Falcons football to talk about, and we've got a story involving college football and the NFL that has changed dramatically just in the last couple of hours. So tonight we're going to start with Dae'Quan Wright and this whole controversy surrounding NFL players potentially returning to college football. And literally just a couple of hours before we came on tonight, the SEC made a major decision that could put an end to Wright's plans to play for LSU. Then we're going to talk Falcons. Atlanta absolutely dominated Indianapolis over the weekend, winning 34-6. We'll talk about what we saw in that game, Michael Penix Jr. being cleared to return, and then we'll look ahead to Friday night's preseason finale against Miami. And then finally, college football is back. It's week 0. We'll take a look at week 0 and some of the games that we're interested in watching this weekend. After that, we'll open things up and talk about whatever else is happening in the sports world. So let's go ahead and start with the Dae'Quan Wright situation, because this thing has gotten crazy. In just the last couple of hours, when I originally saw the story over the weekend, my first reaction was basically, can an NFL player really go back to college? Like, you can do that? I had no idea. And Dae'Quan Wright played college football at Virginia Tech and Ole Miss. I'm just going to give a little bit of background about this, and then we'll discuss it. After college, he entered the NFL. He wasn't drafted, but he signed with the Philadelphia Eagles and then later ended up with the Cleveland Browns. So we're not talking about somebody who simply declared for the NFL draft, didn't get drafted, and then changed his mind. We're talking about somebody who signed an NFL contract and became part of an NFL organization. Then Wright became involved in this larger legal battle over NCAA eligibility. So there's players from the 2022 high school recruiting class challenging NCAA rules that prevented them from receiving an additional season of eligibility. Wright was among a group of players who received relief through Louisiana courts. And suddenly that created the possibility that I don't think many of us ever really considered: an NFL player potentially going back to college football. Wright was waived by Cleveland. I don't know if you saw the press conference, but his coach was a little bewildered by that. Todd Monken was like, he's going back to college? I had no idea, but he said Lane Kiffin had contacted him last week. And there's an interesting connection here. Lane Kiffin is now the head coach at LSU, and Wright previously played for Kiffin at Ole Miss. So Kiffin essentially saw an opportunity to bring one of his former players back into college football. And Wright isn't the only player involved in something like this. Former Ole Miss defensive lineman Za'Gavion Harris also attempted to return to college football after spending time with an NFL organization. And when this story first broke, I had a pretty strong opinion about it. So I just don't think it should be allowed. But I do want to make an important distinction here. So if a college football player declares for the NFL draft and doesn't get drafted, never signs with an NFL team, and never actually becomes a professional football player, I'm willing to have a conversation about allowing that player to return to college. I can understand that argument. Maybe he made a mistake. Maybe he received bad advice from an agent, or something like that. But I'm just not in favor of a player having played in the NFL and then going back to college. So I'm just wondering what everybody's perspective is. What do you think about it? And don't be heavy on your opinions. You tell me what you think. If you disagree, disagree. But if you agree, agree.
Yeah, so I just got in the room. I don't know if y'all said already, but about 5 minutes before we went live, Greg Sankey and the SEC banned pro athletes from coming back to college.
Well, I saw they had banned it, but I didn't know how that would work because there's still going to be a battle in court with it. I mean, I don't think it's over yet. There's still going to be a Louisiana court. And interference and that kind of thing too. So I don't think it's all said and done yet.
Yeah,
I know
probably
the
not. I
SEC
want to
said
find
was,
the headline.
yeah.
I don't
I
know where it
mean,
went.
I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's just one other instance where the SEC or the NCAA did not see the ramifications of. I don't know. It's just because of it's the loophole that. Why is it this year is the only year that this has come up? Is it because of the missing COVID year?
I mean, I'm not
No,
really sure. Like, I didn't even think it was something that would be allowed. But I will say
not
this,
only
though.
not only did it never come up before in the past, but it's two this year. So like something has happened. Like what, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did we get here?
I feel like the
2 words for you.
Trinidad Chambliss going to court and getting that overruled makes people think they can just go to court over anything, and whatever the NCAA says doesn't actually matter.
There's no teeth to it anymore. I mean, it's not.
I think that's why this is the year they're trying it.
Well, I think it's. I mean, I'm with you, Todd. I don't think it's good for either sport.
Yeah,
I think
no,
it's a bad look. I mean, this. You can't have. And again, like Todd was saying before you got to the room, that this is not just like somebody who got undrafted dipped their toe in the NFL that came back. He's had 2 years in the NFL. I think is what you're saying, that he was bouncing around trying to find a home, and then now he's like, you know what? I think I have another year of eligibility and I can go back.
I was looking on X a while ago, and I'm not up on it, but I was trying to catch up before the show came on, and the way they made it sound like he wasn't even drafted into the NFL. That he wasn't a drafted player. He must have just walked on. Is what he did, right? Is that what happened?
I think he was signed as a free agent by Philadelphia, and then they waived him, and then he ended up signing with Cleveland. I believe that's what the story is.
Well, it's kind of, there's 2 words to this, and I think the words are Lane Kiffin, and I think that it's Ole Miss and LSU have been in all the news since December until now. Now they come back again. Same thing.
Any press is
Lane's
good
involved
press.
in one of them.
That's your boy.
Well,
For me, there's 2 things in play here. The first is I'm kind of sick of everybody just vilifying the NCAA and blaming them for everything. Like they brought this on because they wouldn't pay players. Okay, maybe they did some things wrong, but at this point, they've taken away all the power from the NCAA. They let individual judges just make decisions over what the NCAA wants, and that is a recipe for disaster. It's chaos. I can't believe that that's allowed, and I think that LSU has surpassed Texas as the team I hate the most. I can't stand Kiffin. He's one that's trying to make all these things happen that are just horrible for college football. Really, the COVID year thing, that extra year, that was a mistake too. They shouldn't have really done that, and that caused all kinds of problems. But that's been passed. Like that extra year and all that time for COVID players, that's been gone 2 years now. So there's no more COVID issues. It's a disaster. The whole thing's a disaster. What I wonder is this: how far can they push these things before fans start saying, I've had enough? Like, does it matter? Or are people just going to be fans regardless of what they do? What do y'all think?
Fans of the NFL or fans of college? Because I think it's
College.
No, I think it's too. I mean, the machine is too big. I think that they won't lose any fans for this, but as long as they have reactionary legislation going on, which sounds like we already have it in the works and stuff, I think it would look better for the league. But I don't think any fans will bounce because of this.
No, I don't think any fans are going to bounce either.
Well, I have a nephew who's a season ticket holder at Georgia, for example. Huge Georgia fan. Been going. His father, his brothers. He's been going forever. He's seriously considering not renewing his season tickets because he's just so sick of how much money they ask for, and when they know it's going to the NIL, and they know that some of these players asking for so much money, and he sees all this free agency just jumping from team to team, and there's no no guidance, no limitations, no power anybody has to stop anything. And he's sick of it, and he might not even get his season tickets. So I'm wondering, will anybody else be that way? Because prices are just going to go up. They're going to keep asking for money.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it all was going to fall apart, I think there's other issues it would fall apart on. I mean, I think it would have started with rivalry games not being played anymore, NIL entering the picture, the transfer. I think all those are bigger issues than this. I think this is a much easier fix. But the problem is, if you let it happen, it's that much harder to walk it back again. And I understand why. I just don't think college football is as good as it used to be because of some of these things going on now. It's definitely changed the game altogether. But at the same time, we all love football, and I don't think we're going to just stop watching because a couple of these things are going on. And so I think it's a matter, do you want to be the stubborn fan who's like, I'm never going to watch again because I can't stand all the stuff going on in college football, and you're going to like rob yourself of watching football, period? Or do you just go ahead and just roll with it and just understand that the game has changed?
Can I ask a question while we're talking about NIL?
Sure.
I just heard the other day, and then I talked to Pat's physical therapist today when she was there. He played at Georgia for a year, and we were talking about Buford beating Gainesville. And there's a player that's the number one player in the country that's transferring to Buford, I think this week, to play at Buford. And her physical therapist told her that the reason being because in Georgia, you can start getting paid NIL money from the college you're going to. Is that correct? Have you heard that?
I don't know about college. I know that they have an NIL program for high school, though, and high schools in Georgia can pay NIL to athletes. But Buford's definitely been doing it for a while.
Tech. So the guy told me that Texas Tech would be paying the guy playing at Buford, but he can do that in Georgia since Georgia allows that. But I big thing about it. I just wondered if anybody had heard about that before.
I know it's a real thing. I don't know about the college part of it, but like that was the thing when I was in high school. We were horrible and didn't get any. But it's not like money. It's just like, I mean, maybe some people are getting money, but we would get like just meals as an athlete. Like it's not the same as the college NIL.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It could be now. Like I've been out of high school for almost 3 years. And I played at a much, much smaller school in Buford. So it could be totally different now. But
college.
If they're giving money, if NIL is money to athletes in high school, that is Pandora's box. That is just,
I'm telling you, it's listen,
obscene.
We're gonna have the U12 tournament's going to be handing out stipends and juice boxes. I'm just saying.
But at what point does that dry up? Like, where's that money coming from?
The league, I don't know, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, where do you stop? And everything's professional. I mean, like you got like all the travel ball and stuff, and
yeah.
I mean, you got these, AAU stuff, and I mean, may as well call them professional athletes early. Just eliminate college. Let's just make it semi-pro.
Well, I mean, high school football is big business in the state of Georgia. It is, like Gwinnett County and South Georgia, those are your two biggest areas. And there's always been a lot of money that's passed through high school coaches, like the head coach is making enormous salaries. You're looking at $150,000 to $250,000 a year for a coach. And then some of these players, I think one player got paid like $475,000 a couple years ago. So it's going to continue happening. High school football, it's big. It's not as big as college or NFL, but it's huge in Georgia in certain sectors of the state. I don't think it's that big in Northeast Georgia anymore, but definitely other sectors of the state.
Yeah. There's a picture of Rush Probst in Facebook over the weekend at Cherokee County football game. So it sounds like it may be coming back to North Georgia too.
It might be. I
wouldn't let my kid play for him if he coached for free.
I understand. All right, let's go ahead and move into our next segment. Let's talk about the Falcons game a little bit. We're going to move from college football to NFL. So if you're going to play preseason football, you might as well make it 34-6. And that's exactly what Atlanta did over the weekend. They went to Indianapolis Saturday afternoon and absolutely dominated the Colts. And yes, before anybody says it, I know it's preseason. Nobody gets a playoff spot for winning a preseason game. But there were still some very encouraging things in this one. Atlanta put up 461 yards of offense. Indianapolis finished with only 164 yards. That's domination regardless of whether it's preseason or postseason. And some of the biggest stories was quarterback Jack Strand. Strand completed 12 of 17 passes for 212 yards. He threw a touchdown. He ran for another touchdown. Cash Jones had 4 catches for 62 yards, including a touchdown reception. So there's definitely some guys trying to make a case for themselves. And, that's what I enjoy about preseason football is just looking at the rookies and everything. And who can make the roster. So, my main question is, can Cash Jones make this roster? I think he can. And I think Jack Strand's a good athlete, too. Now, what did I take away from the Indianapolis game? Did anybody stand out to you other than those 2 athletes? And how much does a 34-6 preseason win actually mean? Because, obviously, the result does not count. So what do you guys think?
I'll lead off on this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jack Strand. I want him to be our starter. He's 6'5", 240. He's got a great arm. He's brilliant. He was like a double major, something. He's super smart. He was loyal to his team when he had Power 4 offers because he was so good. He's high character guy. I love everything about him. And I see the other 2 quarterbacks they have, and they're fragile. And they've had like Tua had minor success in Miami, but he's just hurt all the time, and he can't catch a snap. And Penix is just injury after injury after injury. Take a chance. You might have a diamond in the rough. I really would love to see him be our starter.
Just kind of piggyback on that. I think it's the biggest thought for me is the health of. Not only is he shown he has physical tools, but he is intelligent. But durability. You can't make a club in the tub. And then even if he doesn't have to be a franchise quarterback, but he's got to give you a chance to win. And who knows? This might be the great story where, he becomes, you just never know, But the some of the other names that kind of stood out was Kendall Daniels, the linebacker. He graded out really high, the PFF, but he had some really big plays. And, they're trying to that linebacker spot is whoever's going to play beside Divine Diablo, and he wore the green dot for most of the game, and I was really impressed with that. And the other linebacker that was ahead of him in the depth chart, the linebacker play was good this in this game, and also just the urgency they played with during the game of just flying and hitting, and they had some unsportsmanlike conduct, playing a little bit after the whistle. Listen, man, you'd rather say whoa than sick 'em. So take it in the preseason. Obviously, don't hurt anybody, but play hard. So it was good to see. Oh, and then we didn't even talk about Goodson. Goodson. Last name, Todd, help me. 49-yard rushing touchdown.
I can't remember what his name is.
Anyway, it's Goodwin or Goodson. But anyway, he's trying to make a spot because the 2 running back 1 and 2 are solid. So he's just trying to be on the field. Just try to whatever you can do on special teams, try to make the roster. So it's crazy how many people are going to have to be cut. But it's those two guys stood out to me.
Hey, going back to what Chris said, I think it's a dramatic statement just to say Jack Strand should be our starter because he didn't do most of this against the first team defense, and he's not going to get any reps against the first team defense either. So I'd have to really see him again in a real game against the first team defense before I made such a dramatic statement. But I do think he's a great athlete and he's got some potential. I am curious, though, what do you guys think about as far as making the roster? You think Cash Jones from Georgia's got a chance?
I think he's legally obligated to play on 3rd down in the state of Georgia. So I don't think he's in any worry of getting cut from the roster.
And then this even the broadcast sounded like a dog's the broadcast was like 3rd down back out of catching the ball out of the backfield. He's so good at that. He took a couple dump screens, 12, 15 yards. He was scampering around. He looked good out there. But there's some really talented. There's a couple talented guys.
Who is y'all's RB2? It's Bijan and then who?
Brian Robinson.
Robinson.
Yes,
I forgot.
I saw a fantasy football draft is coming up real soon, and I saw a reel. It was like we started having our draft, but the guy drafted the wrong Robinson. He
The
said B
wrong B
Robinson,
Robinson.
and then
Yeah.
the commissioner put Brian. The first overall pick in the NFL draft or the fantasy football draft is Brian Robinson. Oh, I'd be tight. Oh, I'd be so mad.
Wow. All right.
That's
Well,
that's a pick that Gavin would make. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's give me Brian Robinson. Sure.
Steve, we haven't heard from you. What's your opinion?
I've been listening. I like that thing Chris said. Made me think about what if that dude, what's his name, the quarterback?
Jack Strand,
Yeah, became the next Kurt Warner.
right?
He was
Yeah,
a
I mean, like Brady was
Or
a late pick too.
Brady was late. I mean, there's been some other. I mean, Russell Wilson was a fifth round pick.
we won't
Well,
count.
the thing that makes me
Well-
mad is like what Todd just said. He's not going to get any work with the first team, and I'm like, why? But they did ask Kevin Stefanski, is he in the competition for the starter? And he said all of them are. So for what it's worth,
Yeah. I
He
think
did
he
say
said
that, but-
they're each taking it day by day, like it changes by the day, which is just coach speak for we know who the starter is. We're not telling you. And unfortunately,
Right.
it is going to be Tua. There's no way it's not.
It's
It would be
I
a-
know
it would
how
be a-
these things work. Yeah, go ahead.
Like it's going to be Tua. It'd be a huge moment for the Falcons organization and even just like NFL. If you go out and you sign a quarterback in free agency and then he sucks and you just like pivot before the season starts. No one does that. They're going to fall on their sword with this Tua thing because they're not paying him anything. Miami's still paying him.
That's the caveat, though. This would be the one situation where it would work because you're paying him the league minimum. They have to pay him something, and it's the league
Yeah.
minimum. Which is, listen, I would take a league minimum and run. It's like $875,000 a year. I would take that any day of the week. I'd wash clothes for that much money. But this would be the situation and how you could justify it as ownership. You're just like, well, we're not paying him. It
Yeah.
was a flyer. It was a 1-year deal. We need to empirically see what gives us the best chance of winning. Or ownership says our quarterback of the future is on a college roster. So as much garbage as we could put out there, the better. So
Yeah, but the teams y'all are too talented to just go 2-15, 3-4. Like y'all are going to find a way to win 6 games.
that's correct.
And like, I mean, like, and it is obvious that Strand's the best athlete that y'all have, but he's not really competing with top tier athletes at the quarterback position. I mean, Penix is one of the worst athletes I've ever seen. Well, at Indiana, he was a good athlete, and then he tore his ACL twice. So he's
Well,
bad. He like
You don't
I mean,
trust your
Strand's
body after
huge.
that.
So,
You know,
No, you don't.
so
you know,
And
Strand's
Tua
Stra-
isn't mobile enough. He'll crumble. He is
Yeah.
mobile. He just can't do it. Like it's not a good idea.
Strand is Josh Allen, like body style and speed. Like he's fast and he's
Yeah.
strong. I'm not saying he's Josh Allen, but he has a rocket of an arm and all those things. And he
He
was
has the tools, he's
accurate.
just
I know
not
he's
polished.
going against D2.
well, Anthony
So-
Richardson,
so
you can put.
let
in
it
that
go
I
box.
was
against those
just about to
first
say
ones.
Anthony Richardson is like a good example of
But
like,
Anthony
getting this
Richardson
guy
sucked
and
in
letting him
college.
run. He
Well,
didn't suck. He didn't suck in college. I mean, he was.
Yes, he
never
did.
played.
Yes,
never
he
played.
I mean, he played.
he
He had
played
9 starts. Like he.
12? Oh, 9. Sorry. Yeah.
Like, I mean, like we judged Arch
He was.
Manning off of making like 4 starts instead. He's like.
You want to talk about
like,
size? What about that little quarterback for the Rams this past weekend? Did you see him?
Oh,
Talking about
steady.
he's the best
Stetson?
preseason quarterback of all time.
I mean,
Yes.
he's going to win the preseason
I'm telling you,
championship.
there's a reason that LA won't let him go. Like he's
Absolutely.
in the
Heir apparent.
reins
That's
after
what it's called.
Stafford. I've been
Yeah.
saying it for 2 years now. There's a reason he's
Absolutely.
just sitting.
And what y'all
Yeah.
think about the starter name for the Browns? What do you think about that?
Did they name Shadur?
No,
No,
Dwayne Washington.
Deshaun.
That's what. Oh, he got booed all the whole. Yeah. Okay. I got it.
Shador
he
must
said-
be really bad.
That's what I'm saying.
Shador
Back to-
is really bad, dude. Like he's not horrible. He has flashes. There was flashes at Colorado. Like, and
Yeah, but
I
this is the
saw
top
it.
1%. There's only 30 of these 32 of these jobs. It's like
Yeah.
you got to be the 1% to be
It
in
has
this
to
job
be.
because there's chess going on the next level. These are grown folks that their job is to disguise the too high safety. disguise the blitz. And Jack Strand hadn't seen it. He saw a willy vanilly defense, and they told him, "This is read 1, this is read 2. If it's not there, throw it in the stands." So,
Well, how do you know he couldn't do it?
We don't. You don't. Yes, the only
He has
on the
to get
job
the
training
reps with
would
it.
on the job training will tell you if he's
Yeah.
got the mental fortitude, because he's going to have stinkers. Peyton Manning had stinkers. I mean,
Everybody does.
that's what I'm saying. Like I have no problem with running Jack Strand out. It doesn't hurt because you just see what you got. You know what Tua is. We knew the ceiling of Tua. We don't know the ceiling for Jack Strand. I would run him out.
What's the ceiling for Penix? Because, I mean, that's the big thing, too. Penix has been medically cleared to return. So what's his ceiling?
11 drills.
It's me trying to stand up in a room that's 6 feet tall. The ceiling is low. He's injured so bad that he's never going to get through a whole NFL season.
And it really,
he's not
it really
fast,
is
like
no fault
Lincoln
of his
said.
own.
No, I mean
I was never high on him at Washington. Like he was a winning quarterback at Washington. He was okay. He did what he had to do, but like there's nothing about him that wowed me and was like, this guy's gonna be.
The lure was the deep ball accuracy and able to open up the defense. He's not a check down guy. He's got that weird accuracy thing where the shorter stuff is hard for him because he throws so hard. But
inverted.
He
throws the crap.
That's terrible.
So the allure of him was the down the field, 20 plus yards, and he don't know where it's going, and or he can't be upright enough, escape enough to get him downfield.
Yeah, he's not. I think he knows where it's going. It's that he doesn't have the time in the pocket to let people get down the field, and when that happens, you have to be able to roll out of the pocket. That's what he can't do. He can't roll.
Yeah,
you have to run. And it's not just him. It's kind of like what the Colts had to do with Rivers and what Breeze had to do at the end of his career. These quarterbacks that lose it on their feet, you have to run the perfect offensive scheme to get people open quickly, so that way they don't have to worry about rolling out of the pocket. Or you have to have the 5 best linemen you can possibly have.
Right, they played together all year.
Yeah,
because that's the component of the offensive line is cohesion. The more you know each other, But anyway, I agree with everything you said. Like, you just don't have it. He can't get him down the field.
Yeah, and it's not his fault. I think he still could be he could be a starting quarterback, but not.
Yeah, and they made a big deal out of under center and shotgun and stuff, but I don't blame them for running pistol because they need him as far away from danger as possible. I mean, and he was limited to because when you're rolling out, you're adding 7 steps to your trip to get this thing out.
So by playing him, you're limiting your playbook so much and playing into the defense's hands. You're never going to be successful that way.
You should be.
Why would you choose that?
Well, it's the paradigm of what you're thinking of. It's like if you're already going to it, it's like you're limiting yourself, but you don't limit yourself with, like you said, like a Hall of Fame quarterback that's on the twilight of his career. His mind is there. His arm is a little, weaker, but he can. It's situational football. He can play situational football. That's the thing that scares you about Penix is doesn't look like he can think on his feet either.
He doesn't have experience.
He hasn't had the reps.
So he's not. He doesn't have that benefit, and it was a bad pick. You'll never tell me different. It was terrible.
I still think if y'all had Kirk Cousins, this is a team that's talked about like the Saints, Bucks, and Panthers. They could still.
Kirk Cousins' career has been so weird. I mean, he's made tons of money, but he's still good. But he's gone to another situation where they draft. Listen, we're going to draft this quarterback's going to be better than you, and you're going to have to teach it. That was a big rub with him that came out. But
the thing is that Penix wasn't better than him, and I'm not convinced that Mendoza right now is better than Kirk Cousins. I think he could be just because he's younger. I still want Fernando Mendoza to prove me something.
I was just thinking the same thing.
He's not bad, but that Indiana offense worked so well for him. I need him to do something that's not tailored towards him, if that makes sense.
Let's go ahead and jump into our next segment. College football's back this weekend with week 0. We do have some college football news. Aaron Philo was named the starter of the Florida Gators, so that's an Athens guy from Athens Academy and formerly
It
Georgia
was
Tech.
Prince Avenue.
Or Prince Avenue, sorry.
Yeah.
Prince Avenue. But now we've got something we've been waiting on for months, college football itself. So there's several interesting games this weekend for week 0. Action begins Thursday night with some FCS games, but this weekend is when it really gets cranked up. We've got TCU versus North Carolina from Dublin. USC's playing San Jose State. Florida State's got a game with New Mexico State. Memphis is playing at UNLV. And those are really your biggest games you're looking at. So there's not a lot of really great action, but I do have my eye on that UNC game. What about the rest of you guys? What do you think?
There's a lot of games that intrigue me for different reasons. They might not be good football games per se, but there's a lot of intriguing stories. North Dakota State and Sac State will debut in the FBS this Saturday. North Dakota State's kicking it off with a bang. They're playing Jacksonville State, who has gone to their conference championship 2 of the last 3 years that they've been in the FBS. And it's a home opener for North Dakota State. I don't know how much FCS football y'all watch. I've never seen a game of North Dakota State not be sold out. So that game's at 5:30. I'm looking forward to that a lot. That's the game I'm looking forward to the most. I wish Hawaii and Stanford was later. I wish it was in Hawaii to get like that 12:30 a.m. kickoff time. But I think North Carolina beats TCU. That's not what I was just talking about, but that's a thought that I have.
I don't remember if I said this, but you got NC State at Virginia.
Yeah,
NC
that's what I
State
was
wins.
gonna
NC
say.
State. CJ Bailey is my favorite quarterback. That's not on Georgia. I love CJ Bailey.
I like these games. All right, so I got something about college football that might not be popular. We can just go away from it, but I'm going to bring it up. So I hate, even though we have this expansion, I'm not a fan of the expansion. I'm not a fan of Texas, Oklahoma. I'm not a fan of the Big Ten. I'm not a fan that we destroyed the Pac-12. I loved Pac-12 at night. I loved all that, and I hate it. I'm excited that the Pac-12 has coming back, even though they've gotten teams from the Sun Belt and the Mountain West. And I know it's not the same cachet, but I like all those teams. It's fun to watch. Here's what I don't understand. All these, it's a bunch of teams that have state at the end of their name. They're all state teams. But I'm wondering, could they appeal to Cal and Stanford at some point in the future? Because they only have 9 teams and they ultimately need 12. And I think they might be going over after Memphis.
10 now.
Maybe UNLV. Like I don't know why they don't go after UNLV. I think that'd be a great fit because the name recognition is there. They just added Texas State, which I know why they did it because they want Texas money, but nobody's heard of Texas State. That makes me mad. I wish they'd get better recognition teams, but the rest of them, I'm going to watch some Pac-12 football.
There's a lot of teams that they were rumored to go after, so they just didn't end up getting. Texas State was the last domino to fall because you need 8 to be considered a real conference to get a bowl tie-in. So they scrambled to get Texas State when they couldn't get Texas State was not their first option. They could not persuade someone else to come join.
They wanted Memphis. They wanted Tulane. They wanted Memphis.
Memphis
I wish they'd
Tulane
go after
won't
UNLV.
leave.
I think that'd be a good fit.
UNLV would be a good fit. There's a lot of teams. What they should have done is just keep the Mountain West together and then induct Oregon State and Washington State and just call it the Pac-12. Let the Mountain West absorb the Pac-12.
I agree.
Keep the same everything. Just add Oregon and Washington State to it. Then you still have your full conference.
I mean, I'd have
with
to say
2 new members that are big programs.
I'd have to say that Memphis wouldn't fit that though. Memphis and Tulane definitely. I mean, they're both East Coast teams.
Memphis and Tulane, I think they would see this as a downgrade for them in terms of conference prestige. Tulane just went to the playoffs. Memphis has been trying to get to the Big 12 for years. They were left behind when UCF and Cincinnati moved in there.
I don't think it would be a downgrade personally, just because I do believe in name recognition. I do believe that having that name Pac-12 means something. and having two original members in it is big. But that being aside, I wouldn't want them because they're in the East. Would like to tell and really that doesn't go to a WBC, no of it now, but I'd love to see them come back to the Pac-12.
You're breaking up just a little bit, Chris. Which team would you like to see back in the Pac-12?
California and Stanford.
Yeah,
Oh, Cal and Stanford. Okay,
Okay,
I
yeah.
gotcha. Well, they don't really belong in the ACC anyway. I mean, that's
they
just
don't.
it's completely
There's no. They got left behind just like Oregon and Washington State, but they just refused to take no for an answer. So they paid to join the ACC instead of just
Right.
wait for a new conference. Because like you had to know at some point the Pac-12 wasn't gone forever. You
Yeah.
had to know that. So they paid. I think it was $18 million entry fee to the ACC to now travel across the country for every single conference game.
It doesn't make
Cool.
sense.
There was a thing. I don't know how closely y'all follow college baseball, but like the realignment matters for them too, because like Stanford and Cal had to play in the opening round of the ACC baseball tournament, which is held in Charlotte every year. And they played the opening game at 10 a.m. So they both flew to Charlotte, played a game, and then by 1 p.m. someone was on the plane and back to California. So like
You
they flew
know,
all that way for one game just to get eliminated and fly all the way back.
and they're both academic institutions that are proud of that. And that's not good for student athletes. And I know it's not about student athletes anymore, but they've always taken that seriously. I'm surprised that like their college presidents okayed that in the first place. And I think it'd be great if you got 4 members of the Pac-12 back together and add those other teams. People might pull for them and like them just because they hate the teams that left to go to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
I hate.
that could get us
Go
into
ahead,
another
Todd.
discussion altogether. I mean, like we could
Yeah,
sit here and
sorry.
talk about Olympic sports all day long too, because other than college football, which it kind of works in the schedule because it's once a week, even with college basketball, it really doesn't work in the schedule because
Yeah,
you're gonna have a
it's the middle of
midweek
the
game,
week.
midweek game
Yes.
somewhere far away. But like the smaller sports, baseball, gymnastics, softball, and tennis, all that traveling that they have to do, like it doesn't work. So I think you're gonna have to see something happen to where maybe just football's in one of those conferences where you have to do all the traveling, and then these other sports, baseball and softball, get more regionalized where they don't go cross country to play. I just don't think that's
Yeah.
not sustainable.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of when teams join conferences as football only. I don't think that
Me
should be.
either.
I think if you want to join a conference, you need to join it entirely. There's some things that are different. Like Gonzaga only plays basketball and baseball in the Pac-12 because they don't have football. That's different than just choosing to keep your football somewhere else. Like Northern Illinois moved football to the Mountain West, and then the MAC kicked them out. They're like, if you're not going to be a full-time member, you can't be a member at all. So they had to find a new home for their other sports.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember there was talk a few years ago of Gonzaga potentially joining the Big 12, for everything other than football because they don't have football, but basketball and
yeah,
everything else.
Hey,
yeah. I
but
don't
to
think you
get
should join. But
no,
like
I
also
agree.
Stanford and Cal, with no disrespect to the ACC, I don't hate on any conference. The football payout cannot be enough to where this is making the money to send every single sport to the East Coast.
No, absolutely
It
not.
can't be. It can't be a profit.
I mean, the Big Ten's deal is substantially bigger than the SEC's right now, but still, you have a lot of teams in the Big Ten, like Oregon, and Oregon's only getting like a portion of the TV revenue that some of the other schools are getting. USC, I think, is getting a full share. I think UCLA is only getting a portion too, or Washington's only getting a portion. So USC is the
At least
only.
with the Big Ten, you have the 4 West Coast teams, so they at least like I know that they get rid of divisions and
Yeah,
protected rivals pretty much, but they should be playing each other every year
no, I
to
agree.
save the travel.
Yeah, I agree. Stuff on their budgets. I'm like you, I
But
don't really see why
Todd,
they're making money.
Yeah, Todd, to answer your question earlier, and I'm sorry if I took us down this rabbit hole. I'm really excited about that Memphis at UNLV game because UNLV's coach, we all know who that is, right?
Yeah, Dan Mullen.
Dan Mullen. So it's
They have
fun
a
to
good
watch
quarterback.
him out there, and I can't wait to watch that game
I agree.
Saturday
I got to
night.
go ahead and close this out. We got less than a minute to go. That's going to do it for another edition of Crossroads Sports Connection. College football is finally back. The NFL regular season is right around the corner, and we're getting ready for this time of the year where we're going to have plenty to talk about every single week. Thanks to everybody who joined us tonight. Thanks to everybody listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of Crossroads Sports Connection. Until then, enjoy the games this weekend, and we will see you next time.